it going, guys? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, here, live on a late show. Late show. We're going to have a couple drinks. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to chill with you guys tonight, answer questions. Just be here for you. Just being here for you, man. We're just here. We're here. We're here for you. We're going to talk some draft. We're going to talk a little bit about Atlanta Falcons, what they're going to be having to do against the Carolina Panthers. You know something that I haven't done? I haven't put Skype up on here. Skype. Download Skype. Download the Skype. Guess I should try to download Skype. That way I can probably get some people in here. James Dockery! All the way from Kentucky. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. Jack Savage, right you for the win. Good to see you guys coming in on a late show. What's going on? Drink. I haven't done a drinking stream in a while. I don't plan on doing it. Definitely don't want to be bringing out the let's drink ourselves into a stupor setup. Install Skype Plus. Anyway, that being said, though, haven't been in here for a while. I can never catch you on the live. Well, we are live right now. We are live right at the very moment. Gonna talk to you guys about whatever, however. Boop. Hope that's it. Hope that is it. Yep, that's good. Perfect. Whatever. Okay. Cool. Skype is up. 50 million, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you guys enjoyed the Caleb McGarry video that I put down today. I was going to work on a Matt Ryan video, but I think I'll work on that when I get back. Plus, Sunday afternoon, we got Falcons and Panthers, which will be a good game. I think it'll be a pretty good game. I'm excited about it. Just came back from the Deuce Wyndham Saints stream. Had to see what the New Orleans Saints fans were talking about, man. Some of the leaders on YouTube right now from their respective team, Deuce Wyndham. And I wanted to see what he was talking about. I wanted to see what they were talking about going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this coming Sunday. And they're a little worried about the wide receivers there. They're a little worried about the length that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has. And honestly, man, I'm shook. I'm shook that Saints fans are actually slightly worried about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what that's all about. I have no idea. I'm confused as you are. I am as confused as everyone else is. But that being said, man, I mean, just to see New Orleans in the state that it is currently kind of gives me this feeling of like, not joy, not jubilance, not, oh yes, finally the Saints feel, terrible. I kind of look at them and I look at us kind of like in a mirror. And I go, look at the hot start that they did, and they'll probably continue to win games. But look at the hot start that they had, and then they ran into Atlanta, and honestly, it's strange, it's weird, it's bizarre to see Atlanta be able to beat New Orleans, and then now you have New Orleans fans talking about, well, it's in division games, and here we go, we got some tough opponents to play, over the next couple of weeks, and we got San Francisco down the road, and, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see them kind of doing what they're doing. You guys are more than welcome throughout the rest of the stream to ask any questions you want to ask. Come in here and chill out with us here. We'll be live for just a little bit. Sean Long, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. If the Falcons somehow keep this momentum going and beating the Panthers on Sunday, do you think Quinn's job is secured? I don't think anything is secure. I think Dan Quinn has done something that good coaches do, which is delegate information, delegate control, delegate command and power and allow other people to be able to take on jobs and responsibilities and eventually lead themselves to a better situation. Good coaches, whether they're coordinators or positional coaches or GMs or head coaches, good management knows when to delegate power and go, either I have too much on my plate or I can't convey the message that I want to convey. And that's where they are now. I had a really good, interesting conversation on Discord today with a couple of grounders. By the way, go hit us up. Discord, unintentional grounding. I had a really interesting conversation today about how Seattle was a players' team. And I thought about it for a little bit. I thought about a players' team. What does that mean? The players were running that team. It was a player-driven team. And it was a bunch of high IQ, high athletic guys, a bunch of unicorns coming out of the forest. And they were able to run that team basically on their own. The coaches relayed the information, relayed the message, relayed the system to it, but the players, for the most part, kept themselves accountable, A. B, communication was at an all-time high, and C, could run the system like it was the back of their hand. Here in Atlanta, it's a bit different. B Baller, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing really well. Chime in. Promise I don't bite. Chime in. Dirty Dog, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. Everybody, please give some love and hype in the chat. Give a little bit of love and hype in the chat. Say hello to your fellow grounders. We're in here. We're a family. But the Atlanta Falcons right now have a group of players that need delegation. They can't just take information that you're sending down to them. You have to send it down the vine, and then it goes to those coaches who relay that information to their high IQ players that the Falcons have, who relay that information to the players that are currently on this roster. So right now, there is a problem with high IQ, and it could just be because of bad communication. And maybe Dan Quinn figured out that bad communication was happening, and boom, here we are. Here we are currently. If you have anything that you guys want to chime in and say while we're doing this, please, by all means, I can see the chat right in front of me. Hit me up. I think it's paramount that you go into the draft, you go into free agency, and it's not just the best players you're going after. It's not the best, most athletic players, the most explosive players, the shiny nickels of the group. You're looking for guys that can not only take in information, but retain information and then pass that information along to all the other players, even if the other players are high IQ players. You want to be able to have that continuity, that communication. And we talked about that in 2016, 2017, 2018, when we were here on this channel, blowing up YouTube, trying to become one of the leaders of it, where we said continuity and communication, those, a consistency, those are three things right there. Continuity, communication, consistency. The three C's. The three C's. Steel Wings, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. You're digging the mustache. Thanks, man. Thanks, dude. James Dockery says, you still located in Orlando? Yeah, man, I'm still in Orlando, man. Still gelling. Q, that guy. What's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. Blake Wagner, what's going on, man? 9-7 could get us into the playoffs. Teams think the playoffs start today. No. We will finish 9-7 and make the playoffs just like the Giants did. Blake, is that a hot take? Blake, is that a hot take? I think that's a hot take, Blake. I'm going to drink to that, though. I'm going to drink to that. A little bit of the bubbly. A little bit of the bubbly. 50 Melly says, play Trufant in the slot. See if Sheffield can hand the being outside bit. Yeah, I mean, you could try it. You could definitely try it. I don't know what they're going to do with Trufant going forward, though. Sean Long says, Dan, I got another question, man. Why did they let go of Kyle Shanahan's zone West Coast offense? That's what really worked. They didn't let go of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan said, bye. See you. I'm out. I'm going to go be a head coach. They said, okay. Nothing we can do. What? We're going to stop him from going to doing his dreams? The undisputed queso in the building. Rise up, stay grounded, man. Hope you're doing well. Q, that guy says, stay grounded. Do you want Atlanta to keep winning, or do you prioritize draft position at our current record? I don't prioritize any draft position. Draft position is such a small bit of this. Duke Graham, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. Dig the stash, homie. Fashion Gold. Hal Snipes, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. Hope you're doing well. Dan! Falcons 2-1-1-2-4-2-2. Man, you got to change your name, man. I know it's cool, but it's like, that's so many numbers, man. I'm just trying to say your name, dude. Trying to give you props, man. Rose Stacks, and what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. If we make the playoffs, miss our chance at a top 5, top 10 draft pick. Bleh. Bleh. I do not prioritize draft position over winning games. I would rather go 6-10, 10 being the last couple games we lost, but win 6 games and screw our chances at a top 5 pick because we created continuity, we created communication, and we created consistency. And I would rather have that versus let's tank to go get whatever. Let's tank to go to the top of the leaderboard and go grab Chase Young. Let's go up to the leaderboard and go get Okuda from Ohio State. Maybe I'm wrong. We should tank the whole thing, trade off all our players, burn it all down. Maybe that's what we should do. I get a lot of people in my comments, actually. I get a lot of people in my comments, and I read every comment. Every comment. I read them all. Every video. Every day. I read them all. I read all my mentions on Twitter. I read all the comments on YouTube. I read all my comments on Instagram. All my private messages. I always go through them. Never post them. Never post them to people. And I've been getting a lot of negative comments about, oh, Dan, you know everything. You're such a know-it-all. If there wasn't anything farther than the truth, I don't know everything. I don't promise to know everything, but I know what I know. And I try my best to know what I know and provide you with the information. And I learn every day, every single day. Kind of something I wanted to get off my chest. I think it's just also really funny that people are so concerned with having a top 5 pick, but when you actually look at the draft as a whole, what players are there? And actually, chat, I really want you to answer this question for me because I really have questions for you guys. You have guys questions for me. I have questions for you. Outside of Chase Young, who's the next defensive end? Who's the next guy? Outside of Okuda, who's the next corner? Outside of Derek Brown, who's the next defensive tackle? Outside of the current guards and centers that you've been hearing, who's there? I think picks and pick position and favorite players are just so silly. I think that kind of stuff is really silly because you can find great players if you draft well, not if those great players fall into your draft selection. And I think right now there's just not enough people looking into the current draft class and saying, yeah, there's Chase Young, but there's also Curtis Weaver. Oh, maybe that's a name you probably didn't heard of. Boise State. Go check Curtis Weaver, Boise State. Go check him out. Honestly, I think that you guys will have a better time checking him out and seeing his ability than constantly going, hey, Dan, should we tank for Chase Young from Ohio State? Should we tank, lose the rest of our games so that we don't get sucked in to constantly having second best or the scraps? And I think that's really silly. Can we talk about why you don't like Gage, the center from Clemson, one day? What? Wait, what? Can we talk about why you didn't like Gage, the center from Clemson, one day? I mean, I guess, yeah. All right, yeah. Cool. Whatever. We need a defensive end, Vic Beasley, only good for one season. I mean, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. I think that's a bit silly to be like, Vic Beasley was only good for 1 year. If we actually look at Vic Beasley and who he is and what kind of position he's supposed to be playing on this defense, then we can start to understand that Vic Beasley as a full-time defensive end, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for anyone. That doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for the Falcons week in and week out because that's not the player he is. That's not the player he's supposed to be. What do we do about Keanu Neal? That's a really good question. Sip a bit of the bubbly for you. What do we do? What do we do with a guy like a Keanu Neal who's had these mega injuries? These injuries that continue to make him fall off over and over and over. You do know that you could turn on the fan in the corner. I want to keep him, but can't pay him big money. I wonder why people are so intent on saying that Vic Beasley is going to cost $15, $18, $20 million, huh? I'm very confused why people think that he's going to cost $15 to $18 million. It's confusing. It's confusing to me. It's confusing to a lot of people. How are we going to be able to pay him money? Keith Simmons, what's going on, man? Rise up, stay grounded. Noble the GOAT fan. Wait, Noble the GOAT fan. Huh. That's a nice name. That's cool. That's a cool name. I'm a weirdo. Boy Bangley, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. I think that people are so intent on saying Vic Beasley's just going to be overpriced, so now we can stop talking about Vic Beasley. I think people are also really funny. They're like, "Oh, Vic Beasley's trash. That's why I would never go after him again." So weird, man. So bizarre. So strange. So strange. Grizzy got a sauce. Rise up, stay grounded. He says Neal can go. Interesting. Vic stays if Quinn stays. It could be. It could be. It could be the fact that we pay Hooper, then we go out, Vic hits free agency, and he literally doesn't talk to anybody else. He just literally comes back to us. I feel like people are using the argument, let's get rid of Vic Beasley, and then going, oh, Vic Beasley's going to be a free agent. Good. He can go off to some other team and make millions of dollars. But then there's other people that are like, oh, Vic's not going to cost us a lot of money, but then go, oh, but I don't want him anymore because he sucks. I think Vic Beasley's going to cost you like $6 million a year. $6 million, and Bruce Irvin costs another team $4 million. I think I would pay $6 million for Vic Beasley, bring him back so that my defensive end rotation and my linebacker rotation are taken care of, because Vic, in this last game, covered well, rushed the passer well, had a sack. I think $6 million for Vic Beasley is not killing the bank. It's not destroying the bank. Vic is scapegoat. Everybody is underperforming. Keith Simmons with facts. Can everybody just give a little love to Keith Simmons? Can everybody just give a little clap to Keith Simmons? Can we have some claps in the chat for Keith? Just a scapegoat for everybody else's issues. So it's interesting, man. Everybody, Tack's having a problem, but nobody's saying, get rid of Tack, get him out of here, he's a cancer. Rah, rah. Tack's doing well, performing well, developing well. Grady's doing well. Vic's doing well. Bailey and Davison have been a major free agent options for us. The ones that are underperforming are Jack Crawford. Adrian Claiborne had a little bit of work this past weekend, but Adrian Claiborne is limited, and also he's a bit older, so you're going to have to find a replacement for that. John Kaminsky. Charleston Nash, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. Neal won't ever have the same burst, turn, plant that you need for the position. He outplays his heart. Praise his heart, though. Oh, man. Honestly, Keanu Neal, when I met him in person in 2016, I met him here in Orlando. We're playing against the Miami Dolphins preseason game, Camping World Stadium. When I met him in person, nicest guy. And you could tell that he loves the game. He just loves the game. He absolutely loves the game. Mad Mike Sports in the building. Can we all give a little holla holla to Mad Mike Sports in the building? Good to see you, Mike. Hope you're doing well. I have the Skype up, Mike. If you really want to get into this conversation, I'm just chilling. I'm talking about whatever. Mike in the building. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Did you guys check out that Kayla McGarry film breakdown? If you haven't already, it's up. If you haven't already, it's up. Yeah, great player. And Neal is not only a great player, but also a great person, and honestly loves the game. And I would hate to have to replace the spirit that he brings, the passion that he brings, and literally the physicality that he brings, as well as the football IQ, because Keanu Neal is that kind of guy. Works on some coverage, got better at it, got injured twice. I don't know what you do with it. It's a hard call. That's why I'm not a GM. That's why Thomas Dimitroff is a GM. Terrence Holmes, what's going on, man? Rise up, stay grounded. What do you think we should do about Neal man? I don't know. That's what we're talking about right now. Where the Falcoholic? I don't know, man. The Falcoholic doesn't talk to me. I don't talk to the Falcoholic. We have a don't talk relationship. I think the short-term answer is we need to find a replacement for Keanu Neal if things get really bad, like another injury. The long-term answer is Keanu Neal needs to play for next year. He's on his fifth-year option, and we'll figure out what we want to do with Keanu Neal in 2021. Because if he's healthy in 2020 and is able to play at a high level, then F it. Then F it. Give him a start. Mad Mike says, hey, call me. So we're going to call Mad Mike. We're going to call Mad Mike. Mad Mike is calling in. The big man, the big cheese, Mad Mike. Mad Mike Sports. Let's see what this man is talking about. Let's see what this man wants to say. Ashton Davis. I like Ashton Davis. Oh, yeah. Lindstrom was already showing us great talent. McGarry was the one that I was concerned about not being able to get up to the point because of Mud. Mud teaching him a very unique way to play offensive tackle, and it's worked. It has worked for him at a high level. Let's call this man. Let's see what's up. Let's call Mad Mike. Let me know if you guys can hear him. Mad Mike Sports. Can you hear me? Chat, can you hear Mad Mike Sports? They are saying nah. So let me switch a couple things. Let me switch a couple things around. Chat, what would you do about Keanu O'Neal? You tell me in the live feed. What would you do with Keanu O'Neal coming up? I think they make 16 no, not 16. What am I talking about? I think they make $6 million on cutting him. I think they make $6 million on cutting him. They are saying nah. So let me switch a couple things. Let me switch a couple things. Can you hear me? Chat, can you hear Matt? Okay, so let me just switch this up. Let me switch a couple things. Can you hear me? Holla holla player. just give me a second. Stop hollering. Give me a second. God damn it. God damn it. All right, let me audio capture device add source default. Talk for a minute, Mike. Tell me what's going on today, man. It's not coming through. Hold on. Hold on. All right, say something.
What's going on, people? Can you hear me?
KZ the future. Oh, wait. We got yep, people can hear. People can
Uh-oh.
hear.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
You know what? I find it interesting. I had to call in because I actually made a video yesterday
Ooh.
on KZ, Ricardo Allen, and Keanu Neal. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I had to call in, man.
What would you do, Mike,
And,
man? What would you do, Mike, man? It's a predicament.
you know, people not going to like what I say.
Man, half of us don't like what you say because you say some rotten things, Mike. You say some rotten things, and we're like, that's factual.
Yeah.
My ass. Mike is
Yeah,
tossed his
people did
bottle. I'll
not
turn it
like.
down.
They did not like what I said about Devondre Campbell. So I had to change my tune just a little bit to kind of, you know, we're wrong about things. I'm not too big to say that I'm wrong about certain things. I mean, he hasn't played the way that I expect, you know, him to play as well as the team. But like, let's call a spade a spade. Like Devondre Campbell's playing like absolute turd. Okay,
I
let's
mean,
just
he's
put it
playing
lightly.
like turd, but
It's
it's
a it's,
not necessarily his. Well, okay.
exactly,
The
yeah.
idea is that it's not necessarily his fault because chain of command is
Hmm.
not relaying the information correctly, and
Exactly.
so by the time it gets down to Devondre Campbell, he's lost and confused and all kinds of
Right.
mumbling. Can't
And we're
hardly
seeing
hear
that
you.
now.
Can't hear Dan now. Oh boy, come on, man. Let's see.
Come on.
Come on.
What's this?
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
don't know
Skype.
about that.
What's up, Skype? Like, come on, man. What's up, Skype? Like, come on, man. What's up, Skype?
Okay, better. We better now. All right. People say they can hear me, so some people may just have to turn their earbuds up. I ain't messing with any more settings. Is Dan Quinn really that bad of a play caller? Let's get back to the Keanu Neal thing, and then we'll get into Dan Quinn and his play caller and whatnot, because I don't want to be on here for too much longer. But
Right.
Keanu Neal, what would you do? What would you do, Mike? Just straight up answer. What would you do? What would you do with Keanu Neal this coming season?
Man, I can't bring him back, and I love Keanu. That's like we need that physical presence, but like we have a dilemma right now with KZ and Ricardo Allen. Ricardo Allen is playing Will as strong safety. So,
Ooh.
I mean, let's look at the past couple of games. Like we're going to need more than 2 games to kind of get the feel. But we know what Ricardo Allen is. But we also have to take into fact like this man has had 2 major injuries. Do you really want to pay him
similar ones?
And similar ones, exactly, similar ones like that. That's these are major injuries. Like this is knee, his Achilles. That's a major problem. I'm not sure. Like this is just a business move. This is not personal. But me personally, man, I can't take that. I can't take that risk because like it's too much of a risk. Like you know as well as I do that I've been big on Devontae Freeman. You know that. Like we've had our wars going back and forth with Devontae Freeman, but it's like right now it's like he's often injured. He's injured again. I'm not signing. I'm looking to get rid of Devontae.
I told those Freemanites. I said, look, you got a false prophet. I'm not trying to burn down your steeples. I'm not trying to tell you that your book is wrong. You're reading only one half of the Bible here, but I'm saying there's other running backs here, and you're forgetting about guys like. And even I will admit I'm wrong. Brian Hill is an outside runner. That's tough running. That's good running.
Yes,
that's positive running. Devontae Freeman is a great inside runner that can jet outside.
Very much so.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either. And that's like these are the tough decisions that you have to make as a coach, as a GM, as an owner. Like I know you love those guys, but like if you turn around and give Devontae Freeman, $9 million, and you give Keanu Neal, and those guys get hurt, like that's nearly $20 million because Keanu Neal is going to garner someone between $8 to $12 million.
Yeah,
at strong safety. So I can't do it, man. I can't dedicate $20 million to 2 injured players, and I love those guys.
I just can't sit here and pretend like Devontae Freeman and Keanu Neal and Devondre Campbell and you want me to keep going down the list, Mike?
Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, all right. We're just gonna keep going. Brian Hill and Stalker and actually all the wide receivers are pretty good right now. I mean, Russell Gage has had a couple injuries here or there. Julio's had a couple nicks up here or there. Hooper's had a couple nick up here and there. But if I go down the list of guys that have just not been here for one reason or another, or just seamlessly dropped off of the boat. They've jumped off the cliff. You start looking at half the team.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing.
I love these guys to death. I will always be a Falcons fan. No matter who you are on this team, I will be a fan of you. But my fandom begins and ends with your performance on the field. And maybe that makes me a subjective hypocrite. But if you look bad for 2 years and then another whole half of a season and suddenly you finally look good in one game, I'm not giving you credit, but I'm going to say maybe you turn something around. Freeman's a different story. That's Campbell. Freeman and Neal, Allen, those guys are a different story because they've had success. They've had ability. They've showcased mentality for team first. They've also had their hiccups, injuries, and whatnot. Freeman with his I don't want to switch gear and running style and gets injured again. And what I tell you, Mike, earlier in the year.
Yeah, you did. You did.
We're ready to go. We're going to have another injury. Here we are. So you're saying Keanu Neal needs to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you
I don't
replace him
like that
this year,
because
though?
I would do this
Uh-oh, here we
if he
go.
can't take if he can't take $5 to $7 million, you gotta let him walk. I'm not paying him anything over 5 million.
See,
It's
this is
just too
the
much of a risk. It's just too much of a risk.
okay. Let's play devil's advocate, huh? Chat, you want to see me make Mad Mike really mad? You want to see the real Mad Mike come out? All right, I
Oh
give you a
God, here
choice.
we
I'll
go.
give you a choice, Mike. You got $5 million. It's two men sitting in the room. They're sitting right in front of you, each one sitting in a chair. You're sitting behind the desk. You got a contract in your hand for $5 million, 1 year. You giving that $5 million to Neil? You giving that $5 million to Vic?
Man, you ain't crap for this. You know that.
Just playing devil's advocate, man. Wasn't your
Oh
thing
man.
Vic
I
Beasley
I
number one fan?
I mean, yeah, yeah. And that's that's the reason why I'm gonna go with Vic, because Vic gives me more, and like it's all about injuries, man. You can't underestimate injuries. Once a guy has a major injury, now we're not talking about sprained ankles here, or arm injury, shoulder injury. We're talking about major injuries.
Mm,
I'm not willing to bring on a guy who suffered two major injuries.
mm.
So, I mean, Vic may not take 5 million, but I'm bringing back Vic Beasley just for the sole purpose that, with Keanu Neal, I think Vic Beasley can guard tight ends as well as running backs out of
Mm-hmm.
the backfield, and some occasions some receivers. But I'm bringing Vic back for that reason,
All right.
just for the sole purpose of that.
All right, let's roll the dice again. Let's talk
Hmm.
about two people on level playing fields, because it's a little easier to be like, well, Keanu Neal's on his 5th-year option next year, and he'll still be on the team, and then you can pay the $5 million to Vic. What if I told you there was $6 million contract on the table right now, and you had to make a decision between Austin Hooper and Vic Beasley? Who are you bringing back? The other
Oh,
one
Austin.
goes.
No. You, yeah. No, Austin, all the way. Austin. Oh, to me, I think he's on the verge of becoming one of the best, if not the best tight end in the league. And that's just my opinion. I think he's all around, still has some things to do as far as to work on as far as his blocking is concerned. But this is nothing this dude can. He's a deep threat. He's a short threat. Like, he can do it all at tight end. He reminds me of Travis Kelsey.
Let's transition for just a second.
Hmm.
I think that the way that the team is structured right now, we could go on and on about every individual player, but the way that this team is structured right now, I'm gonna lay a bombshell on this chat. I'm gonna lay a
Oh,
bombshell on this chat. I'm gonna put some facts and some revelation on here. And there's going to be some people that do not like it. They're going to unsub. They're going to hit the dislike button. But this is thinking outside of the box. This is thinking outside of the current narrative. This is taking my own route through the woods. And even though there's a perfectly good pathway all the way to town right there, I'm going to take it through the woods instead. I think the best thing for the Atlanta Falcons right now is to keep Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn for 2020. And here's why.
You know what? Oh my God,
Here we
dog.
go.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
That's why you my brother, man. That's
Here we
why
go.
you my brother. I
Here we
said
go.
exactly that.
I think keeping Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff for 2020, even though Falcons fans have lost their minds,
Woo.
and there's a lot of Falcons fans out there that have lost their minds, but let me put it this way. Take names out of it. No Dan Quinn, no Thomas Dimitroff, no Rex Ryan, no McCarthy, no Bob Stoops, no nothing. Well, let's just bring it down. If a coach is currently here and he's been building to something and he shows you good coaching etiquette, meaning he's able to take his power, distribute it around a bunch of people, gain success by doing so. He's shown you that he's able to bring in quality talent from the draft. He's able to show you that he brings in quality talent from free agency. He's able to show you that he does have great coaching hires. You can rag on Sarkisian all you want. You can rag on Shanahan all you want, but those were good coaching hires. Sarkisian is a good offensive coordinator. Maybe not NFL ready, but Dan Quinn saw it. Kyle Shanahan comes here. That was Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan teaming up and going, Wonder Twins unite. Let's make the super friends. Take names out of it and you go, this coach who knows how to draft, how to bring in free agents, has a system that works, even if we've had some failures here and there, and now is finding assistant coaches that are doing the job right. If you get a new coach, you blow that to hell. And there's a lot of fans that will fantasize about that and go, blowing it to hell is the best way to go. If you blow it to hell, you get what you get when you blow it to hell. Meaning everybody's gone, the whole thing restarts, and there's no guarantee. And we talk about this all the time. Myself, Mike, Pat, Aaron Freeman, the Falcoholic, we all talk all the time. And we talk about this one thing. When you blow things to hell, what do you get? The bits and pieces that you blew up.
Yep.
There's no putting that stuff back together. Humpty Dumpty doesn't magically get back on the wall and is an egg again. Nah, he's scrambled goods. Tell me right now, if you take the current head coaching staff and all the pieces that go with it and you blow it up, what do you expect to happen? The team to be blown up. Because the new head coach, the new offensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator, the new GM, they're all going to want different things. And they're going to look at this team and they go, you see all these guys right here? They're not my guys.
Right.
I don't have their loyalty. And they don't have mine. I'm going to kick people out. I'm going to start trying to save money. I'm going to try to get the cap back up to a reasonable level. I'm going to try to bring in guys that our coaches want. We're not going to keep these guys.
And you risk, and on top of that, you risk upsetting Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Do you really want to upset those guys? Do you really want to upset a Grady Jarrett? Like, let's think about that. Do you really want to upset those guys? Because there's no guarantee that we'll ever see another Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, or Grady Jarrett. The draft, it's like, I say this all the time. Everybody wants a rebuild, but there's no guarantee that a rebuild is going to work.
But we also
look at the Cleveland. Look at the.
We talk about how the draft is a crapshoot, how free agency is a crapshoot. There are no guarantees in the NFL. There is no player. You can take Chase Young, you can take Ndamukong Suh, you can take Von Miller, you can take Drew Brees. Doesn't matter who you pick up in free agency. Doesn't matter who you pick up in the draft. You have no idea how those guys are going to work together with the other guys you put together.
Exactly.
You have no idea how it's just going to immediately affect the organization or the fan base or the day-to-day operations. You have no idea. So when you hold on to that button that blows everything up and you get your thumb so close and you go, I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to blow it up. Finally, I'm going to get to blow it up. Julio and Matt Ryan in the best hands. And can we build upon Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich as our current defensive coordinators? Because they're kind of doing a co-thing with Dan Quinn. So that's where we're at. Mike, go on a rant. Tell me.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said about a week ago, that a lot of Falcons fans may not want to hear this.
About a week ago.
Because everybody loves to play fantasy football. Everyone loves to play Madden and pick the guys that they want to be a rebuild team. Like, oftentimes, a rebuild never truly works. If you look at the percentages when it comes down to rebuilding, they're extremely low. They typically don't work out. So if you really want success, if you really want a championship, get over your damn feelings. Get over it. Get over it. Because Dan Quinn is what's best for this team. We're seeing that the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing a lot of people saying, I'm seeing a lot of people saying the same exact thing. Man, well, where was this a couple of weeks ago? This is what chemistry is all about. You can't just throw a bunch of players and coaches together and expect everything to come together. It takes time. Yep. It takes time for Bill Belichick. Look what happened to Bill Belichick a few years when that defense was ranked, 31st, 32nd? This is just a couple of years ago. It took him 3 years to get to this point.
Yep.
So everything takes time.
And I'll say this, because I know Mike agrees with me on this point too. This is not the overwhelming idea, I think, that's coming from Unintentional Grounding or any of its affiliates, because I think that we are open to any possibility. I don't think my number one fantasy is to have Dan Quinn here and Thomas Dimitroff here. I don't think that that's my number one fantasy.
Oh, you know my number one fantasy. We've been fighting over this for the last week or so, probably longer than that. You know what my fantasy is.
It's been 3 months. Let's call a spade a spade. Mad
it's
Mike
been a while.
Here, you want me to really call a spade and we can have a little bit of a tussle in here? I've been the kind of guy that always looks to the future. I've been the kind of guy that's always looking to the future, whether it's the players, the coaches, the organization as a whole, the system that we run. I'm always willing to look at something, even if it's a waste of time, I'm willing to look at it. That being said, though, the opposite, my polar opposite, if I'm the positive end, Mike is the negative end. We do not attract. We repel each other, which is, by the way, not the actual science of it, because it's actually negative to positive, but.
Yeah.
But if we are basically two different sides of the coin here, Mike is, let's wait and see, but then he calls for Rex Ryan the next week.
Yeah.
And I about flipped the table because I was like, wait a minute. You want to wait and see if Rex Ryan will be here? That's what you want to wait and see? You want to wait and see Rex Ryan get here. But
hey, that's what we need. We need that, man. We need that. And see, that's why I have to have guys around me that's gonna, have a difference of opinion. Guys that always think alike, and the guys always no. I'm not here to be. I don't want anybody to kiss my ass. Let's just be honest. I don't want anybody to kiss my ass. I don't need it. I don't want it. I want people to have their own opinion, and that's why people have called me out the last couple of weeks. It's like, oh, Mike, you're a hypocrite. You're such a hypocrite. What happened to you saying that Devondre Campbell has to go away? It's like, yeah, I did say that. But guess what? Devondre Campbell is playing well right now. The Falcons defense is playing well. So this is what we want. I always want my team to succeed. And I'm going to call a spade a spade.
I'm not wavering from my position. Devondre Campbell, the moment that you leave the doors of the Atlanta Falcons building, I'm not praising you. I'm not bashing you. Good luck with the next team that you play with. Unless the Falcons bring you back on the cheap. But otherwise, happy trails. And good luck wherever you go. That's all I got to say about it. Deuces. Charleston Nash says, ask Mad Mike about his fantasy draft. What would be your favorite pick from the first round, realistically, of 2020?
Wow. Woo.
Mike is still in wait and see mode because he's not in draft mode yet.
And I'm still not in draft mode right now. To be honest, I'm not on this Chase Young. I despise guys that are absolutely eating it alive in college. I can't stand it. I hate it because oftentimes those guys don't translate. So I'm looking. What's the guy name? Spence, AJ.
Oh, AJ Espinoza.
Espinoza. That's the guy that I have my kind. But it's I'm tired. I don't want flashy. I want guys who's just going to get the job done. Like Grady Jarrett. Like Grady Jarrett isn't necessarily flashy. He has great hand play, but outside of that, he doesn't have a flamboyant attitude. He doesn't look like he's, Jadavion Clowney, who's like
time to time.
And he does.
He's just another player, but a player nonetheless that leads the pack.
Right.
I like what Pat said about lone wolves. We have a lot of lone wolves on this squad, but you know that lone wolves can get together and make a pack, and then they can start biting people,
Right.
and spread rabies.
We're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing that.
A player I want everybody to go out and go see. A player I want everybody to go out and go watch. Go find some tape on this kid. Curtis Weaver. Defensive end, Boise State. Go check him out.
I've heard about him.
Oh, you have?
I've heard about him. Yeah, you guys have been talking my ear off about drafters. So I'm paying attention, but I'm not there yet. I'll be there sometime in December. December, I guarantee you, I heard you guys. Next month, I guarantee you, you're here. You start to see draft from me.
By the way, everybody in the chat, give Boy Bangley a shout out because it was this time last year, 2018, that Boy Bangley and the rest of the Grounders group who had been talking for a couple months straight said, you know, there might be some actual steam, some actual smoke to this fire that we might be looking for in this 34 defense thing. And he got us set up, and then suddenly the Falcons started using more 34 looks, and now that has morphed into several cover 2 looks and cover 1. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how they started out one way, then suddenly things began to kind of flip. I like Alex Mack, but he's getting older, so we should try to get another center soon, says Jordan Daniel, which, by the way, rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well, Jordan. Do you think this team needs to get another center and a left guard, or do you think that maybe we already have those guys?
Without a doubt, I've already seen Alex Mack get, handled on a couple occasions against guys like Aaron Donald. Like I've seen him get dominated by guys that really aren't Aaron Donald. So I think he's getting to the age where you start to see that drop off. But I think this is the thing. I think you can hold off at least another year, draft a guy, and see how Chris Lindstrom. That's the biggest thing. If Chris Lindstrom comes in and plays lights out, then we may see Alex Mack for at least 2 years.
At right or left?
At left. At left.
Oh, hold on.
At left.
Whoa.
I like
hot take.
Hot take. Oh my God. He and Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews looked like an absolute bully against the Saints. He looked like he was out for blood, man. He and Caleb McGarry was, man, and I watched the video. I just finished the video. He and Caleb McGarry was I've never seen them manhandle Cam the way they did. Like Cam Newton, but Cam Jordan, he went to the left side to play against Jake Matthews because he wasn't getting anything from Caleb McGarry. Yeah. He gave him that work too. Jake Matthews gave him that work too. So look, man, you put Chris Lindstrom, Jake Matthews, and that beast Caleb McGarry on the right side. Sheesh. I like that.
I've been hearing a lot of people lately go, "Hey Dan, hey Lieutenant, you think maybe we could flip Chris Lindstrom to the left side? Maybe we could flop him over there and have him see if he could be something. And it's at the end of the season. We're not mathematically eliminated, but for all intents and purposes, we're pretty much done for the season. What about Lindstrom at left guard and Jamon Brown at right guard? Because Jamon Brown's been playing pretty stout at right guard.
He really has. He really has. He and Caleb has excellent coming.
a guy who has athletic profile, a run stopper, but
Mm-hmm.
also a technically IQ savvy guy,
Mm-hmm.
and throw him in at left guard, and then it's all fixed. Everything's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this before we really get too deep into Chris Lindstrom as a left guard. Jamon Brown lost the left guard battle in camp by this much.
Yeah.
And if you can't see the screen, it is literally just a tad bit bigger than a hair. And it is only reason that from what the adults in the room have figured out is that there was a seniority thing between Jamon Brown and James Carpenter. James Carpenter comes in here.
Yeah.
He's got the bigger contract. He's going to play left guard. Jamon Brown was in competition, couldn't beat him out because of seniority, and Carpenter was doing well at the time. So they moved Brown over to right guard as a backup, and they kind of had him go back and forth between the two. Now the question becomes, because Brown has done so well at right guard, if Lindstrom comes back, should we give him an opportunity to play left guard? If he does decent at left guard, should we give him a whole offseason to train at left guard with Jake Matthews over there? And if that works out, and Lord Almighty, if it works out, should we even draft a guard in 2020? Do we even care? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because I like what Schweitzer. I love how Wes Schweitzer has came in to be the equalizer as the backup guard. So I'm
You know, Mike.
Yeah.
I know you probably like bringing a good 45 in defense just to make sure you're safe. but I don't mind pulling out a sawed-off shotgun out of my trench coat. I like overkill. So putting Chris Lindstrom back at right guard next to Caleb McGarry, it sounds like overkill to me. But if we draft the boys to be overkill, why not we just let them be overkill?
That's it.
Why not?
I like it.
Sawed-off shotgun.
I like it. You know, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man.
My favorite guard right now, before we end the show, and I'm going to let Mike go on a little tangent to end the show. But my favorite guard right now is a dog. My favorite guard right now is out of the University of Georgia.
Ooh, I think I know you.
At left guard, Kinley.
Mm-hmm.
The boy smacks. The boy smacks. That man, when he grabs you, shout out to Vach Lombardi, because I'm about to use those quotes. But when that boy grabs you, you're dead as fried chicken.
That's it.
You are dead as fried chicken. You are a KFC 10-piece.
Mm-hmm.
And man, thinking about that next to Jake Matthews, just just drool.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about Jake Matthews is at his best when the offense is balanced. We saw that this weekend. He's best when the offense is balanced, and when he's going forward, and he can punish and be physical. He's just like Bruce. He's just like the rest of those Matthews. Physical. They love to attack. They love to punch you in the mouth. That's what Jake is. We need balance. And we saw with Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom, those guys, whew, man, you get those guys, yeah, they are great at the second level. They do not stop. They love to punish. They love to hit you. Alex Mack is the same exact way. Those guys are physical, man. We need a balanced attack.
Let's go on this little tiny rant. We're gonna have a little tiny rant for Mike because he called in. He needs some time. He needs some time to speak. He comes in. I always want to shower my special guests with as much time to talk as possible because I'm a blabbermouth myself. I always take up my guests' time. I feel bad. Mike, I want you to just straight up talk with me right now. And I want you to be completely honest with me. If Devontae Freeman doesn't play in this game, Ito Smith is on IR. Brian Hill and Quadri Allison are going to get the go. That's at least what the rumor is right now. If they have a good game, Mike, the two of them boys, and they run heavy, and they have some traction, they rip up some dirt from the ground, Tell them how it is, Mike. Tell them how it
No,
is.
you. I don't know if I said this. I don't know if I told you this, but this is what I said, and I've been thinking about this for the past week.
You have the
And
floor. Take it.
I know a lot of people will probably say, this guy's just in his second year. What are you talking about? Give him time? No, hell no. Okay, I'm tired of small running backs. I'm tired of little running backs. We need physical running backs. Let's just be honest. You saw what Chris Carson is doing with the Seahawks. Physical, balance. He can do it all. He's a threat in the pass game as well as he's a physical runner. He's just a punishing back.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
If Quadri Olson, Brian Hill, and I love what I saw. I didn't think that Brian Hill would be this good, but, and stay with me when I say this, but I think he's a better version of Tevin Coleman. I think he's a better version, a complete version of Tevin Coleman. He's elite when it comes to those aspects. But Brian Hill, he runs tough in the middle.
Man. You didn't have to bring it up like that, man.
I knew you would like that. I knew you would like that.
Why
I knew you would like that.
Come on.
But he is. I love, and one thing about Dirk Cutter, he need to get his together. He need to get his stuff together because I'm tired of him in his press conference when people ask him about Corey Otis and he looks like he doesn't want to talk about it. To hell with your feelings. To hell with your feelings. Play the guys who need to be played. See what they can do. You don't know. A lot of guys don't practice well. A lot of guys don't practice during the week. They practice one time and during the game, they play well. So not everyone practices well. Let's see what these guys can do during the game. But as far as Ito Smith is concerned, I'm trading him. I'm trading Ito. I'm trading him. This is the second year in a row that Ito Smith has gotten hurt. We're talking about going in the IR. He has been hurt for the rest of the season for the second time in a row. And let's call a spade a spade. He took on a block and he got knocked the freak out. Nah. I need bigger backs. We need bigger backs. And this is the same thing with Devontae Freeman. We need bigger, more physical backs who have an all-around game. That's just the facts. That's the way our offense is set up. We need complete backs, more physical backs. And like I said before, you guys, I know a lot of people like Ito Smith. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not paying him. I'm not keeping him. I'm not keeping Devontae Freeman. I'm going with Corey Olson. I'm going with Brian Hill because those guys show me something. At least we know during preseason that Quadri Olson, when he's going for it, he's a punishing back. He's a punishing back. He loves contact. He loves to see contact. And the only thing that's holding him back right now is pass protection. And that'll come in time. But let's call a spade, man. We got to get rid of these little small backs who can't take on. It's like this is ultimately the reason why we lost the Super Bowl. Because Devontae Freeman couldn't pick up a blitz. He got pretty much ran over, whiffed on the block. Small. Nope, I'm not doing that anymore. I want to punish guys. Get rid of this small. Nope. Our defense, the same reason why our defense struggled. Small. Yep, that fast and physical, smaller guys on the defensive line, nope, doesn't work anymore. Got to get rid of. Got to play more physical. And like I said before, man, and then I'm going to end with this, but when it comes down to Dan Quinn, y'all need to suck it up, man. Firing Dan Quinn is not the way to go right now. Firing Dan Quinn is not the way to go. He has to stay for the sake of our Super Bowl hopes, but he has to stay.
That was Mike. That was Mad Mike, your boy, the big cheese, angry as ever.
You mean Angry Dan? Angry Dan?
Angry Dan hasn't come out in a while because I think slowly but surely Angry Dan is being replaced by Understanding Dan.
I hate when you say that. Understanding Dan. I don't want that. Understanding Dan. The hell with that. understanding, Dan. I'm not with that crap, man.
I'll put it this way, guys. If I had it my way, and you guys don't want it my way because I'm biased as hell, but if I had it my way, Ito Smith would be gone, Devontae Freeman would be gone, Brian Hill would be gone, and I would be running Travis Etienne and Quadri Olison.
Ooh,
all up
ETN.
and down the field, all over their butts.
Yeah, I like that.
And by the way, let me just very, very quickly clarify. Brian Hill and Devontae Freeman had a buttload of carries, and we were successful against the New Orleans Saints. And I'm not saying that the New Orleans Saints are a bad defensive line or a bad set of linebackers, because they're not. But when we needed to break off a run, when we needed to gain yards, when we needed to do what we needed to do, who were the guys that were able to do the job and get us where we needed to go? Devontae Freeman and Brian Hill. And that right there shows you if we could get some better running backs, if we could get some and running backs are injury prone anyway, no matter who they are. They're always going to get nicked up. But if we could bring in running backs who have a bigger, heavier set, or guys that have a limited injury history or can play in a particular system that we can run the ball and run it up all day, every single day, we could easily win games. It's not always going to work, but it's going to be effective in creating passing lanes for us. It's going to be effective in creating 6- and 7-man boxes where we can throw right over them, because that's exactly what happened. We ran the ball, and then Julio Jones jetted off, what, a 50? 40?
Yeah.
40-something yard catch? That's because they bit it. They took the bait. So in my opinion, I would clean house. We got too many running backs back there. I'd carry 3. I would carry. Personally, after what I saw this year, I would draft Travis Etienne. I would have quad squad, and I would bring back Brian Hill. That's just my opinion. But how to do it the right way, to do it the more realistic way, Brian Hill, Quadri Olison, and Ito Smith need to be the running backs, and we don't need to draft another running back or add another running back, because that would destroy the chemistry that we already have. Guys that we can have some good chemistry and cohesiveness with. So with that being said, Mad Mike, why don't you plug your stuff, man? Plug your stuff and stay with me until we get out of here.
All right. I just want to send a thank you to all of the Atlanta Falcons fans that continue to support your boy, man. When I first began this channel, I wanted to create a place where we can talk positively about our team, because, like I've said before, they do not want to cover the Atlanta Falcons. They don't want to respect us. They don't want to give us any credit for anything. We have to be there for us, Lieutenant Dan, myself, Pat, Don at the Feli Sports Podcast, Jazzy Jeff, Logan. Like, we have to be there for ourselves. CC Ryder, all these guys, we have to be there for ourselves. So I want to thank you guys, man. Just hit 3,000 subscribers. I had it, man. I hit it 2 months ahead of time.
Some love in the chat? Can we get some love in the chat? Some hype? Please.
3,000 subscribers 2 months ahead of time, and that's all because of y'all, man. I cannot understate this statement, but this is all because of you guys, man. I appreciate it. You guys coming in the channel, let me have it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You call me a hypocrite. You call me a genius. I mean, you guys just speak your mind, and that's what it's all about, man. I'm not here to kiss ass. I don't want you to kiss my ass. This is what we do, okay? Let's stick together, Falcons fans, and continue to support your boy, Dan, all right? Because Dan, he helped me so much, man. I just want to say this, all right? Not all to get all sentimental and all nice and shit, because, that's not my thing. I'm not a nice guy. But Dan helped me out a lot. He helped me up my game. He helped me, just like Dan told me a few months ago, and I don't know if he remembered this, but he was like, "Mike has so many, so many videos with just 2 minutes, 3 minutes," and that hit me a certain way. And now that I'm doing longer, more in depth pieces, and that's all because of Dan. Like you guys motivate me. You guys continue to help me, better myself, become a better content creator, and I owe this to you guys, man. So I appreciate everybody who's under that unintentional grounding umbrella. It's going to continue to get big, man. It's going to continue to get big. Appreciate everybody. Everybody, look in the description. Follow every single one who is in that description. Follow it right now. Follow it.
That's damn, Mike, you almost made me cry, bro. Come on, man. Bro, chill out, man. We don't need that sappy stuff here. This is unintentional grounding, bro. I can't be crying on here and doing all that crap. Anyway, listen to your boy, Mad Mike Sports. Make sure you check out the link in the description to go see his channel. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button here at Unintentional Grounding. Go follow us, UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram. Mm-hmm. We will have a Matt Ryan breakdown next week. Ooh, boy.
Ooh, I like that.
Matt Ryan breakdown next week, as well as a follow-up Caleb McGarry video for the Panthers game. We'll see how that works out. Jew Talk Sports in the building. Good to see you, man. Rise up, stay grounded. Honestly, guys, thank you for tuning in. Really, seriously, I appreciate you guys coming through. And every time you guys come through, it puts a smile on my face, man. I deal with my own anxieties and depression and my own fears and things of that nature. And this right here, this is my getaway. This is my way of getting all that energy out, getting all those fears out, shaking all of that off. Y'all are the ones that make this happen. So thank you so much for supporting the channel through the Patreon, through the PayPal, through, the Streamlabs donations and stuff on YouTube and buying merch. You guys are wonderful, and I cannot thank you enough. We're at this point because of you guys. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate everything that you guys have done. You will not hear me ever complain that I don't have enough subs or I don't make enough money. I'm not the top of the hill. I don't necessarily care about being the top of the hill. I just want to put out great content for you guys. I said it on the Falcons forums not too long ago. The appreciation and gratitude that I have for y'all watching my videos and telling me that the content is good, that it's working, that it actually is worth a damn. That's what I care about. So thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Rise up, stay grounded, take it easy. Mad Mike, stay with me until I get off of Skype. I will talk to you guys later. Peace, hair grease, and rise up. You listen to nothing but the facts and the truth from your boy Lieutenant Dan here at Unintentional Grounding Live. I will speak to you very, very soon. Peace and hair grease. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be in Savannah tomorrow. I'm so excited. 40-degree weather. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord.
40.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Bye, guys.